Now, as it relates to the passing game, my big thing that I've gotten my notes on is, as I mentioned, Cade, to me, the verdict's still very much out. We can get to the Brendan Sullivan's usage in the red zone here in a little bit. But I think the big thing that is encouraging to me 3 weeks into the season is Tim Lester continues to get more and more receivers involved. And that's something that has been lacking. And there's so many things that have lacked over the years, over the last 7 seasons. But how about getting a number of different receivers involved? Jacob Gill, Don, when is the last time we've said about any Iowa receiver, here's a guy who is trustworthy, and I'm not talking about off the field, I'm obviously talking about on the field, catching footballs, running routes, a guy who you're going to be able to rely on. And he is that. He hasn't, by my recollection, hasn't had a single drop. He catches everything thrown his way. He runs crisp routes. He's the best receiver on this team, hands down. And everybody was freaking out week 1 after Reese Vanderzee and his big performance. Has Reese had, one catch since then? He's a true freshman. Right. Jacob Gill is the best receiver on this roster right now, Don.
Yes, he is. I think he's got a good overall game. I think he takes his blocking very seriously. And to my knowledge, he has not had a drop yet. And he has an idea what to do with the ball after the catch, too. So that's all good. You mentioned receivers with their first catch of the year. Let me start off with Weegan. Nice run after catch. That play, I think he caught the ball at about 15, but it was a gain of 33. So you're reminded all over again. We said this about Caleb Brown. We can say the same thing about Weegan. We got to find a way to get those guys the ball in space and then give them a chance to do something with it. That's a prime example. Weegan has good wheels. He does. 33 yards on that play. That was 2nd and 6 at the 40. That took us down to the 7-yard line. And I believe we scored a couple of 3 plays later. So that was the same drive that involved the naked throughout the stringer for the touchdown. So that was good to see. And not to mention, correct me if I'm wrong, is it pronounced Bowie or Bowie? Bowie?
Yeah.
Bowie had his first catch, I do believe.
Yes, he did.
And someone else as well. Who was it?
Caleb Brown had his first catch.
Yes, Caleb. Let's talk about that play. The beauty of that play, it was against zone. He settled in the soft spot in the zone. And when he caught it, you remember what he did, Corey? As we say, he turned and he went north-south. He went straight up the field, and he had an idea where the tacklers were. And he didn't dance around. He went with some determination, too. As I recall, he had a few yards after contact as well. And he protected the ball well. They were trying to get the ball out at that point in the game, and he wasn't about to give it up. So that's good to see, too. So there's a couple of guys talking about Weegan and talking about Caleb. Let's get them the ball and give them a chance to run. The ball might even be thrown behind the line or shortly just slightly downfield. But just give them a chance to work in space and make yards after the catch. And those short throws, of course, can turn into longer gains as long as you have a guy catching it that knows what to do with the ball.